Mm. Mhm. So we can notice that it's always the mind that's searching for answers. Just if any thoughts arise, you can just let them be. I would say that being at peace isn't a doing, it's just recognizing the silence that's already present. And we can notice that the silence is already whole and complete. The silence isn't lacking anything. Silence isn't, it isn't complicated. And it's also can be noticed that silence is undivided. I want to say that maybe where most of our life, our addiction was to our thoughts because we thought we were getting somewhere. I would say now, at least here, the I don't know, addiction is the right word, but it's definitely a preference for the silence. And we can notice that we don't even create silence. So it's not a doing, it's noticing that it's already. What if silence was your actual true nature, not the mental construct that you've taken yourself to be? And I'd love to hear from other people what maybe comes up for you when you hear silence. Maybe it's fear. There can be a fear of silence. Can talk about it.
What would silence be if it were my true nature? Is a tremendously beautiful thought. I appreciate it that you spoke it. Like my answer to that is very cool, and I feel that at a certain level. It's like, and if that is my true nature, then why have I been sort of running away from it most of my life? You know,
Well, yeah, good question, Don. None of us, none of us were running away from it on purpose. It was an innocent, mistaken identity. We thought we were this entity inside the body. And for some of us, it can be intolerable, that sense of separation. And so I began to notice what doesn't come and go because you're always here for whatever's happening, good, bad, indifferent. You're always here. So what is always here? Well, silence is always here, but we don't notice it when we're lost in thinking, in story. I would say there could be like something in you that is drawn to the stillness, um, somehow that speaks to you. It's funny. Silence speaks to you. I mean, silence, does it have a problem with anything?
the noticing what's happening seems to help, and 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 because it also notices the thoughts when they arise, and it could see, and it could hear, and it could sense the chatter going on, the chatter of the supposed me responding to another object out there somewhere, as if it's there's somewhere out there, but it's all happening within the silence. Yeah. The silence kind of correlates with the emptiness or the spaciousness.
Hmm. Well, all three of those, silence, emptiness, and spaciousness, have no borders,
Yeah.
no parts.
Yeah.
There's a strong preference for silence for this body. Um, in a story that when I was younger, sort of, I was born in New York City and there was so much noise, and that was so comfortable. And the silence was terrifying. And then there was a real facing of that and moving to the woods and really, loving and enveloping myself in silence. But what I do want to say, despite the strong preference for silence, there's no feeling that this one thing, whatever you want to call it, this one thing that's not a thing, this, the infinite or whatever the name is, that I can use to call it, this one ineffable, inconceivable thing can appear as silence, can appear as noise, can appear as nothing, and can appear as everything. And there's no feeling that the silence is somehow better or different or separate or more true than the noise.
I would say there's no one right path for anyone. It's a very individual and personal thing. So I would encourage you to try all practices, always. I sure did. Course in Miracles, you know, Vedanta, Buddhism, Course in Miracles. I mean, I had to try them all to see that none of them worked.
The seeker has to come to an end.
Well, you just see it's all futile. Like you just
Yeah.
finally it like gets through. You're like, oh, I'm really not in control of anything. But it's not a bad thing. Often the sort of me will recoil at, what do you mean I'm not in control? As if it ever had control.
Mhm.
Got a curiosity. I'm seeing if there's a discernment between the way you're putting it and kind of Manny put it and Alexis described it, where Alexis, it's kind of the noise and the silence, there's no difference. Like everything is this beingness. and I think it was Manny who was doing the discernment between. There's the then there's the sense of there's silence and the sound, and there's the discernment. It's almost like the invited discernment between those like different ways of seeing. And then Michael, what you just said, the sense of almost like going to the no agency instead. Like there's no one making it. There's no choice here. There's just what is in the flow. Like they seem is is that how are you seeing it that way, Michael? Or yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm curious about.
yeah, honestly, Sid, it really doesn't matter. What matters is what
Mhm.
works for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they're very distinct, right? I mean, a lot of us I lead a lot of groups in this, and like they're three very distinct ways of like you were saying, different ways of understanding the nature of what we are. And I think all of them are equally legitimate, but in a way we're talking about three very distinct lenses on reality.
Hmm.
That's what I hear, very distinct lenses. And on you, Michael, I hear you bouncing between all three of them as you talk. But I just find that all it's I think it's interesting and it's important. And it's not important. Maybe it's not important at all. It's just interesting for me.
It's important for nobody. It is.
It wants to know. It has to know. See, that's the thought. And but it's never going to get it. It it's just pointing to it already. It's here prior to the thought.
Yeah, Manny, you said it. Really, what you just said, that was, if I could put it into one sentence, it was the realization that I was never going to get it.
Yeah.
And that was okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The fear of going into this void or the silence or the for thought, it's death. But but it really isn't. It's like opening up to something that's already so expansive that thought can never describe it.
Yeah, beautiful. In a way, in a way, the mi- the mind is a bit of attention whore, a bit of an attention whore, because as soon as you start to get too comfy with the silence, it can kick up a dust storm and raise a ruckus. Hey, what about these problems? You don't have any friends. You don't have any money. What are we going to do? You may notice the mind will fish you back in. Like it will throw out a thought that's alarming to get you back in its grips.
That's
Exactly. It's like the bait, and it knows what I'm going to take, how I what bait I is necessary for me to engage with it. And then you could just listen to it talk back and forth. It just kind of goes back and forth. But that's also it.
Mhm.
That's the hard part. That brings up dawn, see? It's also it. Yeah.
Hey Sid, I have a question for you. So just wanted to hear again, like what were the three different things exactly? I'm curious what your three things are.
Hey, man. So we got Michael. There's no agency. There's just what is. No agency. It's just happening, right? And then we've got this clarity of Manny, man. I'm just resting as the silence. I'm the silence. And why would I want to go and get caught in those thoughts? I'm staying right here. I'm staying home. And then there's Alexis, and she's just like, she's with her dog, and it's all this. The silence is the sound. The sound is the silence.
Yeah, I love the different expressions. Yeah, it's so beautiful.
What's yours, Casey? What's yours? What's the Casey one?
The Casey one is what if the word Casey was never invented? What if the word I was never thought about. Then what's happening right now? How can you, what is anything? I try to, I don't know what you call it, but like when I do that mental uh question or game or something, it just like points directly. It's just like so, and then it's kind of like when your eyes lose focus and then they refocus. It's like, oh yeah.
Nice. And I also want to go with that. That's really cool. I love the Casey one. It's like, hey, if there's not a Casey and not an I, if we can't hold on to those thoughts, ideas, those forms, and then like what's here, we're back into this. But then, like what Michael was saying, like, but none of them are going to work. None of them are going to get us there, right? Because it's like we're always like getting closer and closer. But I think this can be fun from the other way. Like once we touch this, it's like it just gets to be. I don't know if we're not doing. We can do it both as one of the paths, the progressive path of I'm going to get, and they work. I do believe the progressive paths where I love the progressive paths. But then also there's you can hang out with Michael, who's just the pathless path of this. And then it can be from there, it can be really fun to play the game of Casey's. Well, there's no Michael, there's no Alexis. So it's like, what's here? It's I don't know, fun.
Yeah, totally. It's so unknown.
I did want to thank Paul for that description the other day of uh, the terrible twos.
Hmm.
That was
Yeah.
neat because that's exactly the way it is. It seems, and and after we
Yeah.
described it, it's obvious that that's what's going on. The battle between being free and being encumbered and limited.
Mm.
And the battle goes on, and it just doesn't want to do that. But yet it has to because it's the
Yeah.
parents and society just govern everything, so it
Mm.
surrenders. Yeah, that was neat.
It's just already. It's just like it's
Yeah.
already. Guys.
Yeah, that's what the mind doesn't want you to know.
Mm.
It's the end of
Doesn't
the,
want that. It's already.
You mean it's done? God damn it, it's done.
Oh, it can be.
It's over.
I'm not happy.
oh my God.
You know.
Hilarious.
I missed it. It happened already.
Well, that's the freedom.
Oh.
Is nothing, it turns out nothing needs to happen. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
Seems like whatever I say can't be whatever I say can't be it. So all I could really say is I don't know. Everything else is like something, some answer. All I say is I don't know.
And what's wrong with that?
You got it done.
And what's wrong with that? Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I
When you
want to know.
know,
That's a good question.
Do you want to know or does the mind want to know?
The mind wants to know.
what's different? Do we know there's such thing as a mind? Like, No
Never,
one, no
never.
Yeah.
knowing goes deep. It's like,
Yeah.
oh crap, the words are gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
But
nothing wrong with
I
words.
mean, the mind's questions are endless. Like
Mhm.
you can notice that it's doing its job. It's designed to ask questions, but it doesn't mean you need to go along with it.
Mm.
That's a good way to put it.
That which is to be known is already known.
Mhm.
What if
Yeah.
what if what you said, Don, we went to the exact opposite of that? That nothing that I can't know this, nothing that I know is it. So it's like the not knowing. What if it's the exact opposite, kind of like the Alexa style? Like everything that is known, every thought, every feeling, every, oh, I want this, even a sense of lack and desire, all of that is is this, is it.
Well, I would say it's a paradox. Look
Like
at
an
it.
unconscious version of it. Uh,
Well, everything is it because
Yeah,
there's only it.
it's a story thingy.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about.
There's, there's a clue in that word presence. It means pre-sense.
Mm.
It's a gift. It's the present of presence of pre-sensing prior to the feeling and the knowing and the conceptualizing. It's just already. Yeah. That helped me. It was, what is this pre-sensing thing? It's like,
But you're doing,
realizing that feeling, really seeing that feeling was already there. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh
how can it
yeah.
already be here? How is it always everything's already known to be here, but I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that means, and I don't know how that is, and
Can you
why
say
or
more
anything.
about what that means, pre-sense? What do you mean by that?
So the five senses themselves, there's got to be, this is I am prior to those, and that's prior to sensing itself. So it's pre-sensing. So presence for me is that sense of it's what's already known on its own. It stands completely on its own, irreducible. It's already known, and yet there's nothing to know. And it's obviously without time and here, and it's obviously without space, and yet it's all those things as well. And there's no
so
sensing. It's not, I can't touch it, but touching it is it.
Mhm.
in the SID map, like what you're describing, Paul, is like before experience, pre-sense. And it to me, it points me to what I was like labeling as the Manny way. It's like the
Mm,
silence without the sound. It's like this, that, and it feels like a different way of saying it in my
mm,
interpretation. The richness
mm.
of that.
Yeah.
This group is like the black hole of society. A couple humans figure out together that there's no actually, but it seems like there is
Mm.
black hole.
But what do you find in the black hole, Casey? Is the black
You,
hole the bliss of being what? Me? You? What?
you,
Me! I'm in
friend.
the black hole.
It's like it seems like we're all talking to different people and stuff. Like, and it's so amazing, like friends. I just don't know that any of you really exist. I don't know if I exist. I just see things. It's interesting when we all come together though, because I really feel that black wholeness in the Zoom versus
Mm.
like my day job. It's so much fun coming to these things, interacting with you, apparent others. We'll see. I don't even know if I exist yet. So
You'll figure it out.
thanks.
Yeah.
Someday I figure that.
Yeah.
That's two other fun.
When you're ready, it'll come to you.
I give up.
So does the statement "there's nothing to figure out" does that resonate with you?
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not quite as easy as it looks because you can say yeah, 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 but the mind is very cunning. The mind has a lot of tricks, a lot of ways to reel you back in. So you can just notice that. It wants your attention. So it's going to do everything in its power to keep your energy on it because it's used to you believing it. And this awakening business is about getting the big divorce from the mind. And you realize, oh my God, the mind's been pimping me out.
Yes.
It won't sign the divorce papers.
Yeah, yes. Oh.
Take you to court.
And so, how do you guys make sense of that? Osho and others have used this idea of like Zorba the Buddha. There's a movie Zorba the Greek, and they like this idea of Zorba, like it just like took like aliveness, like just all of life, grabbed it all, the fullness of it, and then the
Yeah.
Buddha, Om, Zorba the Buddha, and it's like
Uh,
it's a little tricky. Like this was Osho's thing, right? And I have a little like when I hear Casey talk about the black hole and some of what I hear you speak of, Michael, sometimes like a little bit of like yellow lights come on with the no one here-ness, even though it's fucking true. But it's like you don't want to miss out on the Zorba-ness, like the fullness too. You don't want to just be the emptiness or the black hole, like the sense of wanting to know the fullness of like this preciousness of being in this lifetime and form and all of that. And how do you guys reconcile it?
You don't need to.
I don't. It just
Yeah.
auto reconciles.
The, what if the black hole is as fearful as the hole in the donut?
And it's self-reconciling.
It's tasty too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting to the
not an
hole. You
actual
have to.
black hole. Yeah, that's just kind of an analogy for what it feels like when we all get together.
Yeah.
And then when it's over, it feels like coming out of the black hole again. It's like, oh, oh.
Mm. I think I
Ah.
get that quality you're talking about, Casey. Yeah.
I like Sid's random dance moves. I just wanted to point them out.
Yeah, me too. It was groovy. Need some
Yeah.
cheese or something in the background of that.
This is how infinity dances.
Staying alive, staying alive.
It's awesome.
I really do wonder about this because I spent an hour with Tim Cliff a couple weeks ago, like really pushing this question because it really is with this because where our radical non-dualist friends take us, where into the kind of the emptiness all, or where Casey's kind of pointing, where it just all form and everything disappears into this. It's like I'm just wondering about the form side of it or the Zorba side of it. And it can, I wonder a lot. I wonder about this.
yeah. So, Sid, is there a line between the finite and the infinite? Can you find a line or a separation? It is the ocean and the wave. They really aren't two. It's not just a metaphor. The ocean and the wave are literally one. We could say that the waves are the ocean in motion.
Problem is, the problem with this, Michael, is
Yes,
that just like
problems are allowed. Yes.
the problem, just like what Paul's feeling, like it's very blissful as we get together in this emptiness. It's like, whoa, I like this. And then there can become a preference for the pleasure over the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of, something kind of like uses this to stay in bliss land and lose the full spectrum of experience of the waves. And so we can say this, but we're not really back in the waves.
Um,
Used to use this or try to. Then again,
yeah, good luck.
yeah.
Yeah, this does its own thing on its own terms. You know, you can imagine all the control you would like. You're free to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually it may dawn that you've never been in control. There's no one inside that body that was ever controlling anything. And everything worked all fine by itself, right? You
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
school, you got your clothes on, you didn't go out naked, you got your lunch. I mean, it all worked. So it's not the falling away of the me. No. It's the recognition there never was. There never was a separate you the whole time.
Okay. Okay. Let me hit you with something then. Okay. Let me do the like the Don. Let's see that inverse again, right? On that. Like you could go with like there is absolutely no me and there's no agency. It's just happy. We can find that place. Then what if we do the inverse and we go to Alexis? And it's like instead of that, there is a me. Hey, there's my friend Michael, and here's Sid. But it's like the Sid and Michael are, it's like they're fully, even you can even like, how this is a fun experiment. It's like how far can you go into identification and still maintain the freedom of the very nature of what we are? Instead of going to the emptiness, you go into like Sid, and even the Sid is making choices. Like, what's more fun than being here with you guys? And then finding the same freedom in the agency and in the identification. How about them apples, Michael?
Wow.
Either.
Wow. Yeah. It's all about resonance for you. Again, it's such an individual and personal thing that, what works for you, Sid. Don't forget about Michael and Manny and everyone else. Just feel into it directly for you.
Well, it's more fun. It's more like the full spectrum. Like I don't want to miss what Casey was sharing with us, or where Paul was going with the pre-sense, or where Manny was going. It's like it's more like trying them all on. It's really fun. It's like we're going to a dance party, and like we got all these different songs playing and dancing the different songs with Alexis.
Mhm.
So how long can you keep that going?
Crazy.
Keep what going, Manny?
Yeah, what?
The story that I want to experience everything, and it needs to be explosive. It needs to be, I want to enjoy life. This story. And, and so I'm blocking off the whole of life. The essence of what we are is prior to the expression that's happening. So all of the expressions are fine. They're part of it. They're the waves.
Mm-hmm.
But can I actually be who I really am that never changes? The essence of, but it's not who I am. It's life. It's the aliveness of life. It's here, and I'm missing out on the wondrous that I had prior to the terrible twos.
Mm,
Like, isn't that delicious? Like the Manny dance of going back to that like essence. I'm so with you, Andy. I love it so much. But I also like equally love the Alexis dance.
whose dance is better?
Everything's included. Yeah.
Well, that's where you got to be tricked. That's the trick. That's where you get like what Michael says. You get pulled in as soon as we go to what's better. And then when we go back into lack instead of just the play of it all from this. perhaps. And I could be, and just like what Manny's saying, I might be stuck in this like Sid that's enjoying the spectrum and playing, and like Sid's in lack and he's missing the big essence of it all. Who knows?
Yeah. No,
Yeah, there's no answer. There's no verification that you did get this now.
it's a different experience. I have to say, when you're not trying to get something out of other people or experiences.
Yeah.
Or mimicking them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to
So,
copy them or something. Or
I
So what
mean,
about that? Sorry, what about Rupert Spirit describes it as the overflowing of fulfillment? Like once we know this beingness, then it overflows, and this is the expression of life, and it can go in all these, we can play with it in all these different ways.
It's not tangible. I mean, it's just nothing's tangible. There is find the difference in these discrete plays, the fun of it. Find the difference in the joy. What is I love the fun of it. It's like, well, see what it is. Is the difference? Where's the movement between what isn't and what it is you're looking for? Find that movement to see that it's already irreducible.
Right, which
And
brings us back to where Michael was at the beginning, saying the silence of it all, knowing the silence through it all. Right? It's like it goes back. If it goes back to the silence, whatever we're playing, it's just the silence moving.
yeah.
So Paul, sorry, the pre-sense is pointing to that which does not sense, or it
yes,
is implying, okay, that which
yeah,
does not sense.
yeah. It's the illusion of yes, yeah. And the
It's
belief in the senses of them being real and making it real.
yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's content with itself, and it's noticing the play of the pain and the elation, back and forth, up and down, because that's what the opposites are. When I create a thought, I'm in the realm of the opposites, and I want to be on the high all the time. See, I
Mm.
when I'm in the story, that game, it's going to come down because that's what it does. It's just the function of it is to do that. So if that's what you want, just enjoy and then hold on to your chair. Well,
I'm sitting here going, am I crazy or is all of you
You're
crazy?
all crazy.
I don't know which one it is. So.
no, Don, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Not alone.
Well, as the Advaita police would say, but Don, there's nobody there to be crazy.
Yeah.
There's just craziness.
Crazies included.
Yeah. It's all craziness. It's irreducible. It's permanent. It's infinite. It's craziness.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's finished.
For no one.
Totally.
Isn't that fun to try on? Like instead of finding silence and everything, like finding craziness and everything.
Yeah. Free to be crazy.
Fun to experience craziness in silence. So all words were invented by people. So what if words didn't exist?
Mhm. That's funny.
Party in silence, party in silence.
Silence dance party with no music.
That wasn't as fun as with music. It was too silent.
That was a tumbleweed moment, wasn't it?
Don't mix Zen with dance.
The tumbleweed of Zen.
Tumbleweed. Awkward.
On a whole different note, one of the Zen koans I hate the most still is the what is it? What was it like before enlightenment? Chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Are you serious? There's got to be something different. Got like some magical thing. Power. There's a power, right? I don't know.
Yeah, so that's one of those sayings that it's
Still
not until a lot of this is I want to say that in a way life doesn't begin till you awaken, you know? And a quote like that, because in a way carrying water and chopping wood is the same before and after enlightenment. It's carrying wood and chopping wood. And yet it's completely different. It's so much lighter.
and after, I don't know if I'm carrying wood and chopping water.
Huh.
But that's also it. It's the there was no one carrying wood or chopping water, but carrying wood and chopping water still happens.
Exactly. And so that's when it's said that no one has ever done anything because there's only this, and this is not separate from itself.
Hmm.
All movement is this, all voices are this.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Yet it's all new.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
so
every
What's a
moment,
sun?
ever
Yeah,
fresh.
ever fresh. Yeah.
right.
And there is no sun.
And no movement.
Jesus. Yeah.
There's no under or above.
Yeah. So that's a freedom that you'll never get it right. Like nobody knows what this is. Nobody knows what this is any more than you or I know what this is. So we're in that sense all equal. And then there's just playing. You don't need to know what money is to go spend it.
Yeah.
Michael, in your book, it says there's already nowhere to get to. There's no reaching this. This can never be reached cause instead of because, cause. It's everything. It's already here. And no, there's nobody here to be afraid or not afraid. If there's what's strong, if there's that strong belief that I am this person, I am real, I am here, then those thoughts may seem to affect that one. If you take yourself to be a real separate self, a real person, then those things that may seem to arise may seem to affect you, but it's only affecting the imagination, the idea you have of what you are, not what you really are. What you really are can never really be affected by those things. That was in Cozy and you, that book that you had.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's, you just, if you get stuck or whatever, your brain starts just taking you over after being baited, just read a paragraph or something like that, and it kind of brings you back. It just,
Yeah.
hey,
So you were talking about the book Just This I did with Nkosi.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I just went through his and my, meetings, satsangs, and transcribed what we both said, and then divided half the book for him and half for me, and it just flowed beautifully. Like the whole
Mm-hmm.
book just kind of did itself in, very short time, like ten days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you may notice is, um, the old saying, let go and let God,
Yeah,
the more you let go, the more you notice you were efforting when you didn't need to be.
yeah. And that's the relief. It's, I'm not carrying the bricks anymore, trying to fix my life, trying to be happy.
Yeah.
Sounded like you were reading Pinocchio to me, Manny.
Is the nose growing?
You know that. Oh, I've got to be a real boy. I've got to be a real boy. I've got to get
Oh
it right.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
forgot about
Yeah,
that. He wanted to be real.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Mm.
Just like the robot. Yeah. I robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sid, what were you trying to reconcile? I forgot. I looked up the word restore friendly relations. I kind of like the definition.
Would you say restore friendly relations?
Restore friendly relations between.
Mm. And
Oh,
reconciliation
I'm
with self.
playing with just the beauty of like there's no one here, nothing happening, and there is someone here and there's something happening. And it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, like all of that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What if it's already reconciled?
It's see, I just want that's Paul's. I like that. It's something stupid. Use Paul and Michael's word already. It's like, dude, don't make it difficult.
Well, it was actually Nkosi that first showed up here about 4 or 5 years ago, with already maybe about 5 years now. And that just struck me like, okay, I don't know that he's right, but if he is right,
Mhm.
it's the end of seeking. If it's already
What are you
Yeah,
gonna do after that? Like,
right. But you have to look yourself. And that's the thing why I say this is both impersonal and at the same time very personal, because only you can stop and start to notice. Nobody can do it for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is. So there was here that recognition of this can only be done here. I don't know how to explain it, but there's just that, yeah, that realization. It's like it's nowhere else. It's never happening anywhere else. It's happening here, and you're trying to miss it on purpose.
Yes. Yeah, right. And there can be a denial like, no, I want this more than anything, but it's very subtle.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm. Is it the present moment kind of that the mind tries to avoid by creating thoughts, do you think?
Yeah, because you don't need the mind when you're in the present moment, it's too present to even be thought about. So the mind has nothing to say about really the only thing that is. So it has invented this thing called the past and a future that it can appear to live in.
Hmm. Beautiful.
They think that statistically we are motivated
Thanks.
51% away from pain and 49% towards pleasure. So even if we play around with that, the subtlety of pain and pleasure, the border between the two, that's where I think that's where the being lost in oneself is. That's where the noise, where silence only ever seems like noise, and it's that movement of, um, is this painful, or I don't want this, towards, is this better? It's yeah. There's that word subtle, as Michael said.
what about the possibility of enjoying the enjoyment of like the enjoyment of the pleasure and the enjoyment of the pain? Perhaps because we
Mhm.
see we can know the essence of silence that's in all of it, and then it's like, whoa.
Sid, I think you think you're going to lose that enjoyment
Yeah.
if you give up.
Yeah, the enjoyment goes hand in hand with the problem mentioned.
Yeah.
Or is the enjoyment when it just it's almost like it lights up. It's like this radiance of what we are. It all lights up, and with that, there's an enjoyment of what they say loving what is. It's like an enjoyment of what is, and so the enjoyment. I mean, I'm pushing the edge in this immanence thing, but the possibility of the enjoyment of it all, the enjoyment of everything that arises of life, it's almost like it's just the same way of saying it's all silence or it's all emptiness. It's all enjoyment if we can really lean into it, perhaps.
Yeah, it seems like it's enjoyable to see that I don't know if anything in life is real, but also life's so much more full on. It's crazy. So the lows are experienced so much more low, but it's crazy because it's not denied anymore. Like
It's already enjoyment though. There's already it's
you can call
it's
it
already
enjoyment.
enjoyment,
I
and then
enjoy
something
it.
says no, it's not, and then it carries the beauty of a feeling with it that then tells you, oh, there's the evidence. Jenny would say, I've just rendered the evidence of my belief. No, it's not enjoyment. I need a state. I need something. I need a difference. And then, oh, it's not enjoyment.
Enjoyment without an enjoyer.
Yeah.
And now, without relying on anybody else, like they say, I remember going to science and non-duality meetings,
Mm.
and it was like a smorgasbord of teachers, of
Mm.
gurus, of from all over the world, a smorgasbord, really good, beautiful people and stuff. But after a while, after you went there a number of years, which ones do I do the workshop with? Which ones do I do this with? And so I'm always wanting to get what they seemingly had. But what about me? What about me?
Mm.
As long as I'm looking for something, it's outside of me.
Hmm.
And it's almost like inward thing. It's unborn within me already. It's
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
prior to.
I know, man. I used to follow those too. The science and non-duality. It was
Yeah.
all very exciting. Get the popcorn. Um,
That's funny.
yeah, it turns out that nothing is more spiritual than anything else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 that can
Everything
be
is
beautiful
sacred
and
and
sad at the same time.
Yeah,
When you're present. Yeah.
whatever you're seeking can't be out there because there's only you. So all seeking is you seeking you
Yeah,
in the myriad ways, in the
yeah,
myriad ways of doing it.
yeah. Just for fun. Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening? That's it.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
Pleasure.
What a
all.
blessing.
Love
Mwah.
you
Love
all.
you guys. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye.
Hmm.